As someone who was exposed to quite a tumultuous life and a plethora of traumatic events, which I'm not going to go into a deep dive now with you, I learned really quickly what it was and how to become a first-class control freak. I say this with love, of course. It was learned behaviour. I learned how to control myself, how to control my body, how to control my emotions, and I did it really well. I also tried to learn how to control my surroundings as best that I could. And so I always see so clearly the reasons when people come to me why you don't have the business or the life that you desire yet. If you've found your way to this episode, there's definitely something in here for you. Welcome to episode 2 of the Initiatrix. Just to give you a little heads up, funnily enough, in the name of control and not trying to control things, my microphone decided to die on me. And so I'm actually recording this episode through my headphones, taking messy aligned action and going first, leading by example. And so I wanted to really get this information out to you. So I literally picked up the headphones and said, fuck it, let's just do this. So here we are. I also want to let you know that I will be guiding you through an energetic practice a little while later in the episode. This today is a full-on immersive experience and you are invited to receive. And as always, everything that I share with you, take what resonates and delete the rest. The problem you have that stops you from making shit tons of money, from having the life of your dreams, from having the business that you have always wanted, is that you've decided that who you are right now is not a match for it. You've decided that who you are right now is not a match for everything that you want. You've told yourself you need to be more powerful. You need to reclaim your power. You've told yourself that you can't have everything that you want because there's something wrong. You've told yourself that you're not good enough to receive it, or that you have to be good enough to receive it. It has to feel justified before you can let it in. You've told yourself that you need to sacrifice something. You've told yourself that you have to be worthy and deserving of it before it arrives. You keep telling yourself that you need to be relatable and liked before people go crazy for everything that you're selling in your business. You've also told yourself that you have to put your dream life and business on a pedestal. And when you do that, it keeps it further from your reach. You've told yourself there's something wrong with you when everything that you're doing is not working. And so you go on this endless dig of trying to find the thing that's wrong, trying to find the problem. And this is exactly why you have resistance around receiving everything that you want when you want it and on demand. I get it. Let's be real. There is nothing wrong with you. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You don't have to become someone new. You don't have to keep fixing yourself. You are powerful enough. The problem you have is a control issue. You are trying to control everything. You're trying to control the when, the why, the how. You're trying to control how you receive it, when you receive it, why you receive it. You're trying to control everything. And it's impossible to control everything. I did this too. I kept trying to fix myself, trying to find fault within absolutely everything, trying to command more of my power, trying to control everything and everyone outside of me, helicopter parenting everything within an inch of its life. And all it ever made me feel was tired and depressed. And it was only when I decided to shift the need for control and power to coming into being more present, when I started to be more present, that's when everything changed. And this is the problem that I see over and over and over again, is that you're trying to control how other people perceive you. You're trying to control what other people think of you. You're scared of what people might think of you. You're scared of what people might say about you. You're trying to control everything in the name of being in your power and being in your truth. And it's just not happening. You cannot control anything outside of you. You cannot control how people perceive you. And funnily enough, when you continue to try and control everything, this is exactly where you are abdicating most of your power, your energy, your time and attention. And this is why you feel tired and stressed and depressed and anxious, trying to figure shit out as to why things aren't happening yet. When you release control of trying to do everything and be everything to everyone, that's when you command more of your power. That's when you come into more of your own power. Control is the very thing that keeps things further from your reach. It's rooted in fear, and it's created as a protective mechanism to keep you safe or under a false sense of safety and exactly where you are. In your comfort zone, dreaming of a better life, wishing that you had more money. It keeps you in wishful, magical thinking. It keeps you in the I'll be happy when thinking. I'll be happy when I get that thing. I'll be happy when I've made more money. I'll be happy when I've done this. You're still trying to control the when, the how, and also the why. It's only when you choose to loosen the reins of control that you start to come back into your power. When you loosen the reins of control, you start to become more present, because trying to control something and being present simply cannot exist at the same time. And when you do try to control everything, all you're doing is literally creating a greater resistance in receiving the very things that you want. Resistance, control, keeps the body contorted and in contraction, which is not its natural state. The body's natural state is to be in flow, to be in creation, to be in receptivity. But you've learned that to get everything that you want, you have to do more, be more, take more action, hustle, fix, grind, do all of the things, which is, again, controlling everything, and you're giving your power away by trying to do that. When the body is in resistance, when you are in resistance, when you are trying to control everything, it doesn't allow for there to be much room or space for you to receive anything else. Controlling what comes next, controlling what steps to take next, controlling what action to take, it's all doing energy. It's all productivity energy, which goes against the grain of what you are. You are a human being. How can you allow yourself to be? When you're trying to control something, you're always doing. Whether it be consciously or unconsciously, there are parts of you that are wanting to do. And so this is your invitation to come back into the present moment and understand what is it that is driving you? What is the driving force for you to always be doing, controlling, keeping everything at bay? What stories were you told? Whose behavior does this remind you of specifically? Presence and coming into presence alleviates this problem. When you are being present, you are in the moment, you are in the now, you are open, and you are open to receiving. Presence is a state of receptivity and power, and it is our natural state of abundance and creation, because when we are present, we can allow things to flow through us and to us effortlessly. When you are present, you get to live in that state of wonder and joy, because you're actually taking notice of every single thing in the present moment. When you move from a space of presence, you command way more power than you could ever imagine. When you are present to your thoughts, your emotions, your mind, your body, your breath, each moment, the power that you exude is unfathomable. You become the magician of your own life. You are the master. You master the art of stillness. You don't allow yourself to be distracted or consumed by how other people might perceive you or consumed by external influences. You get to choose which thoughts you follow through and which you don't, which you believe and which you would rather not, which part of you is requiring attention from a loving space versus which part of you is actually spinning a yarn. Presence is what is being required of you when you are spinning your wheels trying to figure out why you don't have what you want yet. Now, I know that I'm not telling you anything new per se, but I'm telling you through the lens of my own experience and from working with countless people as to what it is that they're doing every time they don't have the things that they want. And it's not what they're doing, it's what they're not doing, it's what they're not being. So how can your beingness be enough for you to create the life and business of your desires? How can you shift from a space of always doing to a space of being without guilt, without wanting to shame or judge yourself for being? Because sometimes being involves simply doing nothing when actually you're doing everything. Sometimes being means being in allowance of where you are at in the moment. Whether it means that you are tired and you need to take a nap. Whether it means that you need to walk away from a conversation. Whether it means that you'll put yourself first above everybody else for once, maybe. That's when you get to be. And that's when you get to be present, because you will know what's serving you and what is not, what feels empowered and what does not. When you're always trying to control, you're being driven by the parts of you that are looking for evidence of something that is yet to be created based on something that may have happened in the past. And it's usually been driven by fear. So I'm going to invite you now into a little journey with me. I'm going to guide you through a short experience with the intention that we command, or that you command, more of your own presence, more of your own power, while releasing any tendencies or at least some of the need to control. So if you'd like to participate in this practice with me, you will need to find a quiet space with no distractions, which means you may need to pause this episode here and return shortly. If you decide or that you wish to decline on this occasion, or perhaps now isn't the time, that's absolutely okay. You can pause or stop this episode now and come back later. And maybe you'd just like to jump into the Wealth Vortex community that I have created for conscious thought leaders, paradigm shifters, and influencing luminaries. Come and join us. The link is below. So once you have found your space, we shall begin. I'm going to let you know now that I will be channeling some energy in this portion of the episode. So if you do not wish to receive this energy, please say out loud, "No, thank you. I do not accept." If you are driving or if you are working with machinery, I would advise that you decline the invitation, pause the episode and return to it later on when you are not otherwise engaged. Should you wish to accept the invitation, I invite you now to say out loud, "I accept, I am open, I am ready to receive." And so we shall begin. I'm going to invite you now to find a space that's quiet, a space where you can stand, an open space where you can stand and perhaps put your arms out wide and just connecting and noticing your feet on the ground. As your arms are out wide, I want you to just notice your fingertips. Notice the length of each one of your arms and the span between fingertip to fingertip on each one of your hands. The space created between each hand all the way across the chest. Just noticing. If the arms begin to get tired, you may place them down by your side. And if you begin to feel any sensations in the body at all that may feel uncomfortable, you may stop, or you may simply say to yourself that you are safe. This is your time. This is your decision and choice. You get to execute your own power now. So as you're beginning to notice the hands and the feet and your arms, I invite you to start to notice the breath. Bringing all of your awareness into the breath and simply noticing how your belly and chest are rising and falling with each breath. There's nothing to do, there's no pattern to follow, just allowing the awareness to follow the natural rhythm of the breath. And now I invite you to bring your awareness into the lower half of the body. From the bottom and the hips. Simply noticing. And beginning to notice how the lower half of the body is beginning to feel heavy. How your feet feel like they are weighted into the ground beneath you. And perhaps if you're feeling slightly uncomfortable, just readjusting your position. Still with your focus and attention on the lower half of your body. You can lower the arms if they're tired now, gently placing them down by your side. And if you feel comfortable to do so, you can gently lower your gaze or close down your eyes. Noticing the breath once more. Noticing the stillness of the body. Noticing how centered you feel. And I invite you now just to take a couple of deep breaths with me, letting the belly fill like you're blowing up a balloon, so breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just allowing the exhale to be slightly longer than the inhale. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just letting the breath soften, releasing any patterns. And so the intention is to command more presence and to call back anywhere that you may have abdicated your power. Anywhere that there are parts of you out there dancing in the wilderness, feeling as though it needs to be more, do more, feeling as though it needs to justify its want and desires for more. So I invite you to say out loud if you feel comfortable to do so, and as you're saying these words out loud, I also want you to visualize what it is that you are saying. I call my power back from all directions. I call all parts of me back from all times and spaces, from all planes of existence, and from all lifetimes. I command more of my consciousness and release in this very moment the need for control. I am more than my body. I am more than my mind. I am love. And I get to have and receive everything that I want without condition. So as you're speaking those words into existence, I invite you to just visualize, and perhaps if you feel called to use your arms, to bring all of that energy, all of that power, all of the parts of you that you're calling back in through your words, to use your arms and your hands to scoop it all the way back in, back into the center of your being, back into your belly, back into your chest. This is an invitation to invite some movement into the space. You can use your arms to scoop it all back in and bring it all the way back into the body from all directions. And when you feel you have done enough, I want you just to be. Noticing the breath again. Noticing if there's anything happening in the body, any sensations. Notice how you might be feeling, any thoughts or visions. Anything that might be requiring your attention, just simply allowing it to float away. Anything that's not needed in this space, not needed at this time, allowing it to float away and coming back into the breath. Bringing your focus and awareness to the lower half of the body now. And we're going to seal everything that you've called back, all parts of you. We're going to seal this now with a golden circle of light, all the way around you. We're now going to bring that golden circle into the feet. So beginning to notice your feet on the ground. And just releasing this practice now, gently and in your own time. Perhaps gently moving your wrists and hands, your ankles and feet. Perhaps gently shaking your arms. And just beginning to open your eyes in your own time. And of course, you can use this simple practice to center yourself and call back your power and your energy at any time. And any moment you feel as if you are going off piste with your thoughts, or thinking there's something wrong with you, or thinking that you have to do more to get everything that you want, I invite you to return to this practice and to come into a space of presence and take the next steps from that state of being. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.